Okay, I got confused. Riverside.
Okay, let's see. Let me just check Riley's account. I don't see it live yet. Do you guys?
Yeah, for me neither. It's
Huh.
just 1 hour long.
Huh.
I wonder if it got cut off at the hour.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm suspecting.
Do you think there might be, do we need like a higher tier Riverside
No,
account?
no, no.
No, because it was still streaming. I think I like you have to set it on the Twitter. Like if I think I set the stream for like an hour. I thought that just meant for the calendar. Apparently it fucking cuts it off, which good to know. We'll set it longer.
Yo, that's okay. Literally, we are just getting our bearings. This is like the first one. Yeah, what about YouTube and other platforms? Is it live there?
Uh Fantastic question. It is live on YouTube.
Well, let's keep. Do you want to? Can you send me the YouTube link? And I am going to just post it on my account here so people can get back in there.
Yes, sir.
Oh shoot. Okay, give me one sec because I have another call right now.
Nice. Founder mode.
Okay, I actually have a hard stop. So I got like 5-10 minutes. Urosh, here's what I want to do. I want to walk you through just like really rapid fire what you need to do to win an AI search. Is that
Yeah,
cool? Because
go
then
ahead.
I got to hop off. I had a call that started 5 minutes ago.
Nice.
Okay, beauty. I am going to put this on my X. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Rejoin the live here. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, so here's the thing. Is first things first, let's just look at your site broadly. Number one, you have to set a foundation for yourself. And what every site should have to win at SEO, AI search, the most important pages are your bottom of funnel pages, by which I mean services pages, basically landing pages, and then bottom of funnel blogs. So as an example, let's say you're like a service company, you're not, you would list off your services. So that would kind of be for you, it would probably be just like, I don't even know what you would have. It actually would be these right here, I think. So it would be like journaling, would be like one of your landing pages, second brain. It's basically use cases. So you need to have those.
There's
Then,
on the use cases are on the bottom in the footer.
oh, let's go down there.
So use cases, you can see third from the bottom. There you go.
Got it. So you do have these pages. Okay, perfect. Well, I would have it as a drop down personally in the nav.
Okay.
It's just like really hard for people to discover. And so I would do that. And then you have to make sure, so you have your these pages, so your services, your service pages, your product pages. Then you need to have your core bottom of funnel pages, by which I mean the reviews, the verses, the alternatives, and the best ofs. You already have some of these. But the issue is that they're not optimized. And number one, what I was explaining back at the beginning of the stream is that you need to have these pages pointing to each other in a specific way so that the pages operate as a cluster and each page is helping each other rank. And
Mhm.
an example of this, like we did this when we did SEO for Clio. And the reason why we're ranking so well and we have two of the top spots and we're crushing the AI overview is because we have this versus page, but then we also have this review page. And you can see that they point to each other here through these internal links. Now, the next thing is that you just have to make sure this page is actually optimized. This is your page. This is kind of what it should look like. And I'm going to walk through what you're missing. So number one, and I've made it annotated, and I'll send this to you so you can see what needs to be fixed. You don't have your keyword in the H1. So right here, you have to have your keyword here, right in the title. Number two is, well, like the year. But another thing, this is a very nuanced part of SEO that a lot of people don't appreciate, which is if you look for who is currently ranking for Pocket alternatives to Pocket, which I think I have here, notice that the other pages, it's alternatives, plural. Like most of them are alternatives. So what that tells us is that your page, which is alternative, singular, that's not what is going to win here. And therefore, what you need to have is a comparison of all the Pocket alternatives. And so you can see here is an example in the annotated version where you have a genuine multi-app roundup. And what this also lets you do is explain what is the difference between Lucky Note and the competing SaaS tools. And you want to give them their flowers and give them credit where credit's due. But what I mean by that is if you search, as an example, best CRM into AI search, it's not just going to say Attio or HubSpot. It's going to say HubSpot is better if you're an enterprise company. Attio is better if you are a bootstrap founder. It's going to explain what each software excels at. You need to provide that information and make it very objective and fact-based. And what I mean by that is, again, you don't say we are the cheapest or the most affordable tool on the market. You say this competitor is $10, this competitor is $15, we are $3. Make sense?
Yeah.
AI loves these like specific, verifiable, quantitative, objective facts that you can put into the content. The other thing that you want to have in here, and I don't know if it's annotated, is you want to make sure that you have your methodology. So this is the methodology that we use to compare our tool to the competitors and make it first person. You can say I'm Urosh, I'm the, heads up that I am the founder of this tool, but I actually tried all the other tools and my methodology was X, Y, and Z. And then you need to actually have screenshots, like real screenshots of your tool, but also the competitors in your page.
Yeah.
So you have to bite the bullet and sign up for them and try them out and take screenshots, again, testing them out according to whatever methodology you're using to weigh the different tools against each other. And then what else do we have on here? I think you do actually have fact schema. We already talked about how you do not have the author page. So you have to have an author page. It goes to a separate page that says who you are. It links to your socials. Here's the last thing I'm going to say. Make sure that you have the updated date. So this was published on, this was updated. Make it visible. In AI search, there are a few things that provide massive leverage that are very easy to do. One of them, as an example, is leveraging YouTube and LinkedIn. The other one is having the freshest page. And right now, as an example, let's say that you're looking for a tutorial on how to use something Claude related. If you were to find a page or a video that is 6 months old, that is now useless to you. So Google is rewarding people who keep their pages up to date with the most up-to-date information. They keep it fresh. And when I say fresh, I mean ideally every 30 days, which a lot of people don't realize that, like, if you keep your pages, if you update your pages every 30 days and they're 30 days fresh, that is a huge AI search ranking signal. And all these things are going to help you, especially when you have such low domain authority, because you can't beat your competitors on authority. So you just have to be better than them and more creative. And that
When you
is
say updated, is not changing the created at date, just changing the updated at date.
correct.
Okay, gotcha. But then the actual things need also to change on the page or just change. Okay.
You have to change things on the page. I mean, the thing is that it can be simple things. It doesn't always have to be a complete rewrite. But you should, your competitors, they're often changing things about their tool. They may be changing their pricing. Like you should ideally keep it very much up to date. But as long as you're updating in some sort of way, like the best thing to do is to obviously like go through the whole process of like reviewing your competitors every 30 days, but that's probably not viable because that takes so much time. So therefore, you know, do what you can, what is within reason of the resources that you have.
If you need to bounce, please bounce. If Riley has 5 more minutes or 10.
Oh, I'm staying
you-
on, brother. You're not getting out of my claws just yet. Oh,
All right.
baby. We're just getting started.
All right, Urosh, I appreciate you. Riley, you're the man, and I will
You're the
catch you
man.
guys later. I'm gonna leave this open because this is Riverside. I think I just leave and then leave the tab open.
Yep, you can close the tab. It's fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Peace out.
Adios. Rob, what a guy.
Amazing.
Bro, I'm telling you, listen, I'm good at what I do. That SEO world, like I've done it because I've needed to, but getting like really into the weeds about it is fucking crazy, man.
This, like, this snipe move of alternative and alternatives, no, that's like next level stuff.
Yeah, no, he's just got so much data. Anyway, so you're a product guy, you said, right?
I'm a product guy, yes.
That makes sense. In a good way. That's not like an insult. It's not condescending.
No, it's completely fine. Ideally, I would be a business guy, but I'm
Yeah.
not there yet.
Yeah,
I'm getting
eventually once we get some. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll be honest with you. Now that like Rob's gone and I don't have to do like the tactical shit, I'll just fucking talk to you. Dude, SaaS is such an uphill battle, and it's it's fun, but it's an uphill battle. I think for where you're at now, like first off, like the market always lies to you, right? Every time you've ever read anything about somebody's SaaS, like they had an incentivization for you to click on that thing, right? Like, so consuming SaaS stuff on like Twitter or YouTube, it's like they're either selling a course or they're selling their SaaS, or they're selling a course on how to sell a SaaS, or they're, selling affiliate. So they have a newsletter. So it's hard because it, like, when you look at the market right now, it seems like, okay, I either need to be like Levels and have like 100K followers and drive traffic like from there. And then Levels is like, well, he doesn't get all of his traffic from his, his Twitter. He gets it from like SEO and everything, but it's like he had a fuck ton of money because when he launched all of them organically, he got a couple bucks in the bank account, and so he could launch to like Google Paid right away. And then obviously he's so well connected in the space that I'm sure he was just ripping crazy affiliate deals. And his inset, like, he doesn't care about I bet he does. He benefits more from the MRR number, so he can claim himself to that MRR number to get the opportunities that he gets, right? So like that's kind of I say excited, and he's great. I think he's fantastic. He changed the space a lot, but a lot of guys look at him and it's like, well, that's not it. And then like we were kind of talking about, unless you want to like play the game, which you don't, trust me, anybody who's ever taken like outside capital, like completely null and void, like basically zero overlap, right? Like even all the way, Anthropic is like not a business model that tech companies are following because they raised Series H, so like probably not the best way to look at business. And then anybody in the like consumer SaaS app world just gets like a fucking literally like 1 billion views a month from organic because they're these crazy, like the T app or like these calorie trackers, and it's so buzzy, it's so viral, it's so wide TAM mass market, and then it kind of dies out. And so the question is, well, what the fuck do guys like you do, right? Which is fair. So I think there's twofold. One, just like make your bed and lay it, like decide what you want to do with the app and what would be a definition of success for you and chase that. I think being caught in the middle where you're at now, where you're like, okay, the app's good, and I'm shouting into the void, and like I don't know how the fuck everybody gets their traffic. It seems like everybody just spawns traffic. Like, okay, now you have the app. How do you go get customers? Like, it feels like it's like this mountain you're looking at, and so the guys you're going up against, again, they're either funded, they have an edge, or they're distribution guys first. Like, Rob and I are marketing guys first. And so we can bring an under average product to market and get traffic because, like you saw on that whole call, right? Like I didn't even look at the product features. I was just going, offer and all that messaging and stuff. What we would do is find a guy like you to build the thing and then partner or do some sort of thing, right? So if you are like, if you're like, you want to see this out, like, and you've been doing this for a while, how long you been building the app for? Yeah, right.
Throw a random number, and then probably it's going to be much bigger than that.
I want to say
to it, though,
4 years.
Epic. It was 5.
So this was before AI fucking anything.
That was before AI. There's like when my turn is to talk, I will tell you.
Your turn's right. No, I don't want. I'm shutting the fuck up. I want to hear the story.
Okay, so you close the thought, or you wanted to say what is the tool?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was gonna say like, so if you're like you've sunk cost fallacy, like you're in this far, and if you're still going after this long, like you obviously have conviction the app's gonna work and you're gonna work until it works. Like if that is the case, then like clench your teeth and do that. Like getting caught in the middle and like waking up some days maybe back, like strategies aside, like either like if you're committing, go fucking do it and we can talk about doing it. If not, say like it's going to be a great like experience. You know what it's like to try to bring it, and the next time you're just going to go for something like buzzier or something that's like we're going marketing first, product second. But if we're riding this one out, I would say like you're obviously aware of your strengths and weaknesses. It's fair to say that product is probably a strength, and so that's great. And so there's a lot of people where product's their weakness, and I think like if hearing Rob and I talk is like a lot of new ways of thinking, not even just like specific strategies like making alternatives instead of alternative, but like thinking about how to formulate these different products and like reverse engineering it from the market and like taking it that there is a lot of people, more people who are better than that and horrible at product than the other way around. Basically all of Greg Eisenberg's audience, basically all of Level's audience. And Rob is like pretty enterprise-y, so it's not like the solutions go work with Rob because I'm sure he has like an MRR cutoff that's pretty high. But there's a lot of people who sit all day and study all this shit like Rob that would do it for cheap. Like the reason I say this is when I started doing my stuff, which wasn't SaaS, a lot of it was like stuff that I needed to sell over the phone, like high ticket. And I hated sales and I was really bad at sales. I'm good at selling on the phone because I can just yap, but like thinking sales first about like pipelines and all that stuff, like that I wasn't grounded in that. And so I leaned into what my strengths were, which for me was marketing. And then I brought on a sales agency and I started hiring setters and closers that had already had a ton of experience. And I just siphoned all of their experience because the time it would have taken me to get up into the point where I was even competent enough to do half as well as them, I just doubled down on my strengths and buy out my weaknesses. And now I can run a great sales agency. And so like the way that if we ended the year and this thing was working, you either go viral on Twitter or LinkedIn. So you absolutely shred organic content. You either really, really crush the AI search with some of the recommendations that Rob was doing, or you shovel like 50K in the Google ads and just rip it. And somehow you need to get the capital. And so, the SEO stuff is like right now, probably the best chance of like at least a bit faster of a slow crawl to like actually get some cash in the door. And like we're saying, like it's not going to be there with like $4 a month, and it's not going to be there some of those things. So like we could get there and then hit that like 5, 8, 9K MRR screenshot, and then like that's enough to bring people in. But I would be thinking like if your strength is the product Like there's a lot of really bad products out there, and you obviously have been doing this long enough where nobody's really built a good competitor, and so you have conviction in the product. Do what you can to just focus on that and bring people in that are like really, because if you like, you know, I'm not even like a SaaS marketing guy, but if I was and I said, you know what, let's do like, I'll go 5K a month retainer with 3K ad spend for Google ads, and you save up enough money, what you'll learn from like me ripping ads in your account for 30 days, even if I churn out, even if you say can't do it the next month, you have a bunch of creatives in an ad account. You've seen how I'm sourcing UGC creators and starting to build these ads, and you just traded 8K, maybe got pissed in the wind, but like I guarantee that just bought you 5 months of like sitting on YouTube and trying that. And then the last thing I'll say, this was the hardest lesson I ever earned in marketing. My mentor told me this. He said like, basically every song is the same 3 chords, and it's just how you arrange it. Like Hotel California is the same song as Hit Me Baby One More Time. Same verse, bridge, chorus, same chord progression, same tonality, same everything. It's just arranging it differently, right? There's nothing new under the sun. And I spend a lot of time looking at my competitors and then trying to be unique to them because I thought that's what marketing was. Turns out marketing's stealing what's working and doing it for your own thing. And so if you are, there is like nobody in the world can either teach you marketing or that you could like learn from marketing than what is currently working. Even if you were to go buy like a SaaS marketing course from the best guy in the world, like when were those videos filmed? 7 months ago? Well, if he's talking about anything SEO, they're completely outdated, null and void. And so the best that you can do is see what is currently working. And again, currently working in bootstrapped or paid focus or UGC focus, not like that have taken the VC money, not that have like a level, like guys that are like you, solo founders or, you know, duo founders with a product. It doesn't need to be direct competitors, but like your type of product, like the tool, the functionality in this market, you know, what's kind of like the product, like don't go see what Notion's doing. Like it's a completely different game. And just spend like until you could tell me why their stuff is working, that'll be the biggest lift you have for like actually getting this off the ground, more than like any little hack that I could give you, if that makes sense. Okay, story time.
Complete sense. Well, first, thanks for let's say explaining it in such a way, like chunking it down and just going, let's say, for the key points. I appreciate that. And yeah, it's a lot of things is exactly what I was thinking about the last months, but there was no, let's say, the action moment, or let's say the trigger. So let's call this was a trigger somehow. Once
Good to
again,
hear.
appreciate the
My
the
pleasure.
opportunity and the butt wiping. So that's for that part. For the story time, it's called butt whipping. I fucking said it wrong.
I didn't want to say anything.
Say it. Like
No, I just, yeah, you corrected
English
yourself. You
language,
corrected
still not
yourself.
bad. Still not bad.
Where are you from? What's your background?
Originally, I'm from Serbia, and that's maybe let's put that as a first part of the story. Usually, people from my region, the concept is, why are you doing this? You shouldn't do this. Just go with a regular job, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of SaaS founders from the Balkans. Color me surprised.
Like you have no idea. Like the mentality there is like so crushing. Like one guy is not. He created literally an empire for business founders because he was there to support them because no one else, like no family, no friends, no nothing. So just because of that, and respect, like hats off to the guy. But let's say he's doing this in the last 2 years, and I'm already 10 years away from Serbia. So I moved to Germany. Such a amazing jump. So I thought. And then there's like the crushing concept of, you're an immigrant, your passport is worth nothing, not to use bad words, and then the main priority of life is not business, this and that, it's literally survive. and
Right.
survive until you get the citizenship so you can actually live your life, weirdly.
Right.
Again, that was my perspective. People live lives in different ways, but my perspective was I have a passport, I can go and, let's say, live somewhere else if I wanted to. That's the third part of the story. Now I live in Spain because I left Germany. I'm done. Like that place is, it taught me lessons.
Yes.
It gave me the pros and cons of everything. So let's not get into that area. But the key point is because of Germany, this product exists because this was my lifeline for all those years that I spent there, going through the loops of do I belong here? The culture, the company culture in Germany is, I don't know, you want to move a bottle, you put it like left or right, you're going to be judged, you're going to be questioned, you're going to be somewhere. And then if you want to introduce something new, sorry, this if their concept, like it's engraved, if you like go inside the Germany, it's like if it works, don't change it. And then it's
Yes.
like it's 2026, you change nothing, the whole world changed. What do you think is going to happen to you? And here, like if you check on the news, this is what they're experiencing right now, and that's why I'm also not there. Again, grateful for all the experience, but I needed to find my way, and this is the result. So this app was, I finish the job, I go back home, and it's like, okay, I go for this. I had like three ideas. I picked this one because this is the one that I'm the most passionate about. I'm the product guy, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make something that's gonna change people's lives as it changed mine. Not in the sense of surviving, but
Right.
in sense of, okay, now I have a tool that I'm not frustrated to use because there's so many tools as you described. I open, like for example, my mind. There's so many people that are raving about the app, and it's like aesthetically it's pleasing, but
The UI sucks.
if you try to use it, it's like I don't know, it doesn't work for me. So I was like, okay, fine, let them have their own clients or whatever, but I need to find a way to, let's say, build my own solution. So when you say, I don't know if you said it or Rob said it, go sign up for the accounts of all different products. Bro, I tried more than 100, and like that's when I stopped trying, but it's like more than 100, and they're all great at maybe one or two things, and then they collapse. And I was fed up, and I was like, okay. So that's why in a moment I'm gonna share my screen.
Hmm.
When you said you open the page and you're like, okay, what does this app do? And weirdly, this is the same question that I ask because if you take on Notion, like how would you describe Notion? Like what is Notion to you? Because Notion people take as a personal tool, but
Yes.
their whole business is B2B. They go for teams, they go for everything. And like all those agents they now shove, like I literally got a LinkedIn message from a guy from Notion, hey, you're gonna get 30 days free agents. And for me, that's like a sign, bro. Like, and again, speaking about the VC money and everything, I've seen stories where people are like, whoa, amazing stuff. And then you just go and you just disappear. Like maybe some of those people make it, they have their own, let's say, lump of money at the end. But again, working for companies where I feel that people are breathing on my neck, these guys are not gonna breathe. They're gonna like do so many more things on the neck than I want to. So I was like, okay, this is the bootstrap way that I'm gonna take. It's gonna fucking hurt. I know some things, and I know like, wait, what's the how to put it? I know some things, but more things I don't know.
Right.
So I'm gonna go down the path of learning more things to figure this out, and then wrapping this whole thing up. The problem is you always end up in the comfort zone because you're like, okay, whenever it's something like this, let's say marketing, SEO, something, there's, as you like, you said, this is Rob's thing.
Right.
And you already know a lot about this, and you're like, no. And this is like spectacular work for you and for the marketing team and how you manage the agency because you were like, okay, I will not go this way. I take my strengths, and these are my support pillars, and I'm fine.
Yep.
So awesome. You found this like very let's say early on. Respect for that. I'm still finding this, and this one is in particularly, let's say, a little bit, I don't know, nitpicky, because what do you do as with SaaS like this? Because
Hmm.
all other SaaSes, I think all other except the small tiny habit trackers and all those, they're funded, and
Hmm.
they're getting like some ridiculous funding numbers, and I'm like, bro, the tool is such a crap, and you get like 6 million, and I'm sitting here and I have a tool, and like, what am I doing? And I know like people, when you read on Reddit, they're like, oh, I paid the subscription and this doesn't work. And like, how could you allow as a 6 million funded business for this not to work? All those stories aside, the main question that maybe we can expand on is like, what does this app do?
Hmm.
So initially, as you, I was texting myself, and then you end up with a void of things, and you don't touch upon those, so they're just like lost. And maybe sometimes you randomly stumble upon it, but usually when you save things, they're either a video, an Instagram link, LinkedIn. There's like, at the moment in time when you save it, it's an inspiration for you, so that you hope you will remember at one point or get back to it later on. And most of these tools, that the other ones that I use, it's like, oh, it has Markdown. And it's like, bro, what am I gonna do with Markdown? So my whole concept was, this is the place that is not going to be like these second brain apps, that it's not like something that you need to manage, organize something, but it's like, if you put information, not only you're going to get like a link saved, but you're going to get the proprietary attributes for everything based on this. So not only that you can find it later, but you can take this and then work with this information. So that's why when I share the screen now, I'm just gonna go, let's say, 1 minute of showing you the things, and then you, with your ADHD brain, you're gonna tell me. I also have ADHD to a certain extent, probably not like as much as yours, but mine, I didn't diagnose it yet. Regardless, um, you tell me then, after you see all of this, what is this?
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to do this entire screen, and here we are. So I even put the mobile app just to have everything at a bay. So here, for example, I was taking this to take notes with you guys. Then if I wrote, for example, this for TickTick for $3.99, he figures out it's a product that now later you can search by the product. Like those, not hard to do, nothing special about that. The cool thing is that you can open and then add a note on this, or you can turn this into a task, or you can put a reminder on this, whatever. So you keep this as simple as a message, but you can add more attributes to it if you want. But then if you save, for example, an Instagram post, so now you have an Instagram post, but if it's a gallery or carousel, you get both carousels. So when you open, you can actually have the carousel. And for the X,
That
if
must
you
have been
save
a bitch dealing with Instagram's retrieval to be able to get that.
super bitchy, super bitchy. Eventually there is a way, but you said clench my teeth and go for it. So I was clenching my teeth. You have no idea
Did
how
you have to
many
use a
times.
third-party API?
Third party API. Yes. I I tried different ways, respect again to the platform and to the work, but
No, fuck
eventually you need support.
Instagram. Their API is the worst thing on planet Earth.
Uh, there are others. They are part of Facebook, which is worse. But let's leave it on that. For example, the challenge, and again, cool that you said it for the X, because when I open X, I'm excited. 5 minutes into X, I am crushed to the soul, and with all the people and all the MRRs and all about the, I don't know, like animation, and then animation gets like 500K views, and I'm like, are we living in a parallel universe? I'm a little bit baffled, but okay. The whole point is like sometimes you would still find some articles that are cool. Now, not to question if they're like written or AI written, let's say they're cool. So if you save a link, once again, you just open, I don't know, let's say anything from anywhere here. Either you bookmark it like this, so now it's saved, you can move it. You don't need to think, it's just like it ends up in inbox.
Do that again.
So on the post, there's like the small button to save.
Why is that UI should be the first thing I see? I downloaded just for that fucking UI.
So there you go. Now you're seeing the everything. You can later just throw everything on me on again. It's still a roast. You're allowed to roast. All that is fine. I'm just gonna show you the things that I don't know how to show to the majority of people. So
Okay.
maybe you can help me with that.
Okay.
So any post that you see here or on Reddit, you have the same button. For example, I'm sorry to frustrate you. Let me, for example, this one. Let's save it. So now it's by default in inbox. You can move it anywhere. You can add a task. You can add a note. You can do a reminder. So you remind, okay, someone wrote something. Let me catch this. Recently added screenshot region, screenshot section. So you can screenshot this part. Let's see. Now it's saved. Now if you go here, now it's saved. It's a carousel. It has like all the pictures from Reddit. Then the whole page on Reddit that you could read, go into the post. So all of this, you don't need to copy, you just save a bookmark, you open it here, you have the whole thing. You're like, okay, this is cool. You open a chat, you start with the AI, you summarize, you extract the information, you take the information in the notes, or you put a thread like Slack, because sometimes I would group stuff together that is not a message, but it's part of the message. Here, this is the recent thing that I added. I will come back into for that in a second. But basically, the article for X, you save an article, it's only a link, you get the whole article, so you can read it. Many other pages, they also have this. And then the Instagram and TikTok videos, if it's a video, you get a video. And then if there's a recipe, here I saved a recipe. You get a recipe because it extracts from the post. So why did I do the recipe? Is because on TikTok I saw these kind of apps that are like doing this show on the mouth, and you're like, oh my god, this doesn't exist. And it's like, what? So now should I do this with my app? Because I actually do the same. Like, do I do this kind of thing? To just sum it up, all those things that you save for the ADHD brain, you don't need to move them to any of the folders. You can, it works like you can have infinite amount of subfolders, so you can group stuff in. By the way, all the voice messages or any audio that you save, you can transcribe, you can summarize, you can do whatever you want. And the cool thing is that you have these stacks. So if you save anything from Instagram, he shows you everything from Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, or whatever. And for YouTube, you save a YouTube, you can transcribe the whole video, and then again, you can talk with it. So ultimately, you open the chat, which now I'm working on, and then you can just say, find me an article that is this, or find me anything that is repetitive like this, and then you can just work with the information that is already there. And again, like the concept, let's say this, for tasks, for all the folders you can extract, there's many things that I put a lot of effort. Everything is filterable, so any folder that you use, you can search and see your information, and you have different views if you want lists, if you want cards, if you want inspiration like gallery, or here on the mobile. If you go with this, you do the pinch, you do another pinch, now you have a gallery, and then you can go as far as you want to get gallery views. And again, all of this is accessible, so you don't need to think about where is my stuff, and you can work with this. So I will stop on this, and now you can scream at me, shout, whatever. But like when you tell me what is this app? I'm
Uh-huh.
asking myself the same question because people would say, okay, I just go inside, and some people told me I use it for journaling, I share my thoughts, I put stuff inside, I put my dreams, for example, in the app. So there's many use cases, and then most of these people are just like completely oblivious about. And then I'm like, okay, should I now go on TikTok and do this like reaction videos? And like these are a little bit difficult for me because
Yeah.
the pain the it's not the pain is not from the cringe.
Mm-hmm.
The pain is from their app got 250K downloads and reviews, and they're doing this, and I'm like, what? And it works for them, and like the quality and the information they get on their apps is like this compared to what I have. Also for all the others, for my mind, all that stuff. They're all nice, but they flop, and then I'm like, okay, I made something, but in this world, making something doesn't actually make anything, basically. If you don't have distribution, if you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to position yourself, you're gonna flop. And the final challenge that I'm doing is I like this. Well, I live with this tool for more than 5 years. Everything that I have is there. I can always find it. Yeah, I didn't show you the search, but everything is searchable, and you don't like. There's no mumbo jumbo. You just search for it. The point is, I don't want to be like that. One time wonder people. They're like, oh, I built this app, and now I will forever be remembered for this app. I admire the work and I stand behind my work, but I don't want to be just like this guy or something. Or I don't want to be maybe a serial entrepreneur to make, I don't know, 10 different SaaS something and then I spread everything. I would prefer focus my energy and value on one thing, deliver to the maximum. The perfection is something that has been, yeah, you can see that, but
I understand.
there you go. I will now stop. You can maybe digest and then tell me, because how do you communicate this app to someone? And then
You
for
don't.
399, for example, for 399, probably it's a mistake that it works and it has so many features, of course. But um, I went down from one-time pay. I had that before. Then there's a lot of science happening behind the app that it it could work one-time pay probably until one point, but it's not so sustainable. So I switched to 999, and then people started, oh, this is too expensive, blah blah. And then TickTick, for example, great tool for tasks and all of that, awesome. And they had like one pricing, 399 and 40. And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna start again with this, I'm gonna start with 399 to match theirs, but I'm just gonna give more value with the tool, and thus the price. So hard cut also for me. Now you tell me.
Make money somewhere else and build this thing like you want it to, I think. Okay, so I have two things, two like groups. First one, I'll give you what you want to hear first, which is like the app. Charge more and justify the price for it. That this is a power user app. It has the same thing as Notion, where like Notion communicates that this app is really good at whatever you want it to do. And then like we were talking about earlier, their marketing is like for those wedge cases. So like you could have marketing for the recipes, so my mom would fucking use the app. And then but my mom wouldn't use this type of app because she's not a power like this app is for people like you and me who will sit for 4 hours on a Wednesday and like organize everything. So every time I click it, I need to go there. So I would say don't make this app more like consumer friendly, which is counterintuitive. I'm giving you like if I was giving you advice on how we could go like giga bootstrap this app, I'd say like build a new app, because like the app's great. So I think for features, UX UI absolutely like number one always, which you're obsessed with because you're a product guy. I would say find the balance of like intuitive power users that the everyday person could also use. So for example, that like click thing on the browser where I can like click it and then it pops up that thing in the right, I would want keyboard shortcuts in the right, like E, you know, like I forget the technical term for that, but like I have like a screenshot tool. I think it's like CleanShot X, and I have like the hotkey, and then I drag it on the screen, and then I can click A, and it'll automatically do the arrow, and I can click and drag, and then I can click escape, and it will copy the picture, and then I can hit escape again, and it will exit it out. And so it takes me like 0.2 seconds to screenshot, arrow, copy, escape, paste in Slack. And like I do that 1,000 times a day. I don't know how much I pay for that app. I'm never not using it. I will pay it. It's fucking $7.99 a month. Like I will pay that till the day I die. I'm never going anywhere. I screenshot everything all the time. I'm a power user. Mac Whisper, great example of this as well, right? Like people fucking swear by Mac Whisper. If they raise the price to $100, people would still pay it. So I would say, for your sanity and just for like, the app is really great. Yes, there are ways to like communicate it better that we'll get into, but generally I would get the price back up and then just justify it. And like, because the type of person who is going to pay 17 or 12 or a month for it, or like myself, I'd, you know, $80 one time it, like, again, it is communication on like how the product works, but it's not like you can save your recipes. It's like, look at how fucking seamless this UI, like look at how easy it is to just do it. Like, and I'm like, when I told you, saw me when that fucking thing popped on my screen, I'm like, I'll pay $80 for that right now. I don't give a fuck. So that's the first thing. Second thing, do you have MCP connections or anything like that on the back end?
I just added it.
So I would buy the lifetime for this right now, and I'm telling you, I wouldn't use the app. But if there was no lifetime and I was $7.90 a month, I'd $7.99 a month for life, just for that one fucking button on my screen. So I learned this. The WAP guys said this in an interview. They said when they were first building their tool, Cameron, the co-founder, spent a year straight gutting on calls with all, and it was free. So he would get on calls with people who signed up to WAP for free on Zoom, and he would do 10 a day every day for a year, and would have them share their screen and use the app. And he would just watch like where their cursor, and it's the same with any product under the sun. Like most people will only use 30% of the features and just make those 30% of the features the best. You don't need to cut all of them, but there's 30%. If that one button is, I guarantee it's what I'm fucking using, and I'd be a power user. And so you get on the call like you just did right now if I was a customer, and I'd be like, wait, do that again. Like, you better get off that call and make sure that button works every time perfectly with that menu, like, because that's going to be bigger than that. So, and also the UI, when I saw it on the website, I thought that was Slack. And so I didn't know that there was a task board. I thought that was Slack, which got me excited. I thought it was a Slack integration. So it's like, you see what I mean? Because I was like, oh, it's going to automatically organize. Like, I can click something and it will put it to the right Slack channel for me. Oh, shit. And so, like, there's that integration side of it where, like, if I still, like, this used to be really me 3 years ago. Now I'm kind of like the Obsidian mind map, like a Hermes guy, which means I just make my life hell for no reason. But if I was still the Notion guy and this could connect to my Notion, you're getting my money for life until, you know, Notion ships that feature. And then what are you going to do? That's the fucking game. So from a product standpoint, I would say just like all of the things we were talking about earlier is still very true, as just like communicating the functionality, communicating it. But like what you're selling, ease of use. What you're selling is like relief. Like when I saw that, I got giddy. Like that's what we see when we see Notion for the first time, and when we're seeing all these like Ali Abdaal doing his templates, we're like, like, oh my god, I can't. When Notion started introducing all of their like formulas, you know, where you could set like dynamic like notifications and like the due date, and it's like red when there's like 2 hours left. I'm like, oh my, I'm in fucking heaven. I use this app called Fantastical. It's a calendar app, and it's there's the fucking one thing in my menu bar, and I click it and I can type in plain English. Again, I have no idea how much it costs. I've never opened the calendar once in my life. I still use Google Calendar for my calendar. I don't use it for the calendar. But that one feature I can sync all my calendars to, and it pops up. So I have like 6 emails that I hand out to people, and I always miss meetings. It saved me from missing a meeting again. And that has saved me probably tens of thousands of dollars. I bet there's like a couple sales calls over the last 4 years that netted me, a couple grand that I would have missed. So like that, but I found Fantastical because I was trying to find that one feature, and I was going through like I'm like, plain English scheduling, please, So that's like the product side. What I do want to say, which is when you're telling me earlier, is if I clipped that first 8 minutes of you telling me your backstory and put it on Twitter and I watched that video, I would buy whatever the fuck you're selling. Especially if you then showed me, if you clipped that 8-minute video and then showed me that one button, I'd buy it 100%. That is such a fantastic founder arc. Like, fed up, have to like go into the German engineering machine for 5 years where everything needs to be, so you're like an like German engineer, which means things are like, they never change, but they're perfect. Like if I'm, it's like, it's the fucking Volkswagen of software. I'm like, oh yeah, like this, it's like somebody who did like Bauhaus, like Steve Jobs with his design principles, moving it to like software, right? But when I was hearing you speak, this is an exception because I normally wouldn't recommend the like founder-led content. I think it's shit. Like anybody who recommends that as like a primary growth strategy, again, unless you're like a Levels, you have an edge case, or you're a fantastic personality, or you have this unique thing, it's usually just like people trying to be Cluely. I do think there's a difference between founder-led content where like all the founders doing is like trying to drive conversions to their software versus like the best founder led company, or the best company that has founder led is like Toby and DHH. Like DHH just did the David Sendra podcast like yesterday where he's talking about like Basecamp and all this shit, right? And the one clip that went viral was his like talking about his philosophy about like simplicity, where he's like, when we were building Basecamp, everybody was building all of these features, and we just built the 2 or 3 features, and we ruthlessly fucking did it. And like that bleeds into it. So it's not that everybody who signs up for Basecamp or Ruby on Rails knows who DHH is, but like those products are obviously his. And when he releases Omarkey or Omakube, right, like his Linux distros, like I'm searching for a Linux distro and I find out that DHH made his own Linux distro, that's the distro I'm using because I know what it is, because I know who he is. I know it's going to be damn fucking good. I know it's going to work every time. It's going to be simple and it's going to be perfect. And sure enough, like when I use it, I forget the terminal that he uses, starts with an A, but like it's just perfect. And his window tiling is perfect. Like it's just perfect. And I can use like Cat Puchin on all my shit, which is like I just spam that everywhere. So it's just perfect. So you know what I mean? It's like that's not founder-led content, but I think for you, like again, we either need to just like turn your baby into like, we either need to like take it behind the barn and shoot it, and you need to cut all of your emotion that is vested into this thing, and then we need to like scale it like a slop fucking habit tracker. Or like I was saying earlier, how I had to bring on my sales team because I was a marketing guy. Like you're a product guy, but that's not like your strength is how you care about it. So whatever, now that I know you, every time you build a software, I'm going to buy it because I've heard you fucking vent to me about how much this shit pisses you off. And I know that like every time your hand touches something, it's just going to be hyper functional and it's going to work. So for example, like I built my brand around like offers and marketing and etc. Right? I intentionally do this because it's like one of my grand tests. I don't post in my world. The number one thing that works is like case studies. So I should have a page that says like, I took this person to this result and this person to this result, right? And I intentionally do none of it because if you work with me, I don't want it to be necessarily because XYZ person got results, so you're likely to get results. I want you to hear how pissed off I get when offers aren't working and when people aren't like I get so mad when I am so passionate about these fucking offers working that it's like, well, whatever this kid touches is probably gonna work, because you see that I get fucking angry in my eyes. And so if I'm like a bull in a china shop, you point me towards something, like I'm gonna make that thing work, because it not working means that like there's an offer out there that is like just missing these things that I see as obvious, and that And that's like my brand, and that's why people pay me a lot of money. It's not because like I'm technically great at what I do, but so are a bunch of other people. And you pay me because you know like what you're getting. And I think you're not, so I'm not saying you're this like founder like content that's like you know, but I do think you have a very strong, like the true definition of a personal brand that would be an asset that would bleed into all your other things. I think it's very, very strong. I think this app being an extension of that, like that's the like meta selling point. Like, is that gonna work on fucking Google ads? Like, no, because we got to do marketing. But would you be able to build like a, if I know you as much as I do now from talking to you for about an hour, if I give you the option of like, we're gonna get this app to 80K a month MRR and I'll handle it for you, but you can't argue any decisions I make. So I'm not gonna like bastardize your app, but I'm telling you we're gonna get it to 80K MRR by the end of the year, and I need full creative authority on all the decisions I make, and that's one option. Option two is that you get this app to like 8K MRR consistently on your schedule, and you have like 4 or 5 messages a day on people being like, Urosh, man, this thing is fucking awesome. And like, I'm so grateful that I found someone like you. Like, I've been looking for shit like this for 4 years, and all the apps I use are just slop, and it feels like nobody actually cares about the, you know what I mean? And there's like, you know, Teenage Engineering, like the hardware company, like I don't have it because I can't afford it, and that's like an edge case because they're like, you know, they're kind of like the Hermes of fuck. But it is, all you need to do is look at that product, and you know what those fucking guys are about. Like, you just know what those guys are about. That's how Steve Jobs built. Like, you just can fucking tell. And I think from a fulfillment standpoint for you, like getting this thing working means like, again, you're asking a marketer how to make a product that works so well that it just gets its own distribution. I'm like, no, but I'm saying like, if I were to fast forward a year of you doing that, of you just like talking about what you feel and building it, and that's like true building in public, being like, guys, I am building this app because of this, and I'm going to keep shipping, and I'm going to listen to you guys. I'm going to get on calls with you guys. And every time, WAP has such a great brand around this where like you can fucking at them and say, at WAP, this thing sucks. Like, everybody in my space either literally works with WAP directly or has a relationship with them, because all of us has fucking yelled at them on Twitter to like ship this one feature that we need, and it's there literally the next fucking day. We have to push an update. That's that culture. If I fast forward a year from now, the success that would lead to downstream directly in the app, or opportunities that would just come your way, or some fucking miracle opportunity to like building, like associating that with your app and associating the app with you and who, and this is who you are. Like, I can look at your app within 30 seconds. I don't even need to know who you are. Like, I see all, like, because I see the functionality. I'm like, oh, this guy tortures himself with UX because he gets so pissed off that shit does, like, bro, I'm not technical, and I know how much of a bitch getting those Instagram carousels were. Like, that wasn't a monetary decision. That wasn't for cash flow. That was because you could not rest until that fucking thing worked. And then it worked a bit, and then like the API endpoint you were using like kind of works sometimes, and you didn't even remotely consider keeping it in. Like, it didn't work once, instantly cut, and the app's like flawless. Like, that's what the app does, because that's like what we do. And then if you want it to make money, then you can find different marketing messages and different pockets, and we can go after like the ADHD and fucking students and all that, like if we want to play that game. But like that's what the app is. It would make you feel good, and whatever is like on the end of that 5-year journey, what you wanted coming through like in Spain, I guarantee. I know this is like a completely fucking like unsolicited advice that you'll need to listen to, but seeing that, like that I would much rather check in a year later and just be like, let's go, Rose, like the fucking, you're doing what I know you and you're doing, than like seeing you post your Stripe screenshot of hitting like 25K MRR or whatever, you know. It's all fucking, it'll all be downstream. Sorry, I know that was like out of nowhere, but I saw you fucking get fired up about this thing, and I was like, oh, this is a completely different fucking game here. if you do anything that would jeopardize how you feel about how great the app is, you'll regret it in 10 years. Like, I guarantee it when you're looking back. Like, again, if I came and I was like in like a fucking suit and a cigar and I was like, I could make this thing make a fucking $1 million a year, you just gotta, it's the same way you turn down VC money, right? Because they would just rip its guts out and make it into something that it's not. So that, like, that's who wins long term. It's not going to scale consumer apps to 25K MRR and have viral Twitter, but dude, I guarantee, like, there's so many, like, it is, I mean, it kind of is prevalent in like ecom. I'd say this example, I literally use it every time I talk about software, but Hyros with Alex Becker, like, it's well into 9-figure valuation. It hasn't been around that long. It's just it's literally a column that goes on your Facebook manager that just attributes calls better. And every single human being I know that runs call funnels uses Hyros. It's like I forget the term, but like when you call products by the brand name, like Kleenex or Windex or like, Sticky Tack, like Hyros is the definition for the call tracking. Like, there isn't even competitors, and if they are, they're going for a different market, because Becker won because he was in our world for a decade and got so fed up that the shit wasn't working that he just built the solution, and then he got 10 of the best people in his network and sat with them for a month every day on group Zoom calls and why aren't you're running $10 million a month through this thing? Why aren't you using Hyros yet? I gave you access. Why aren't you using it? Oh, like, until it was that. And then he scaled that to, $100 million valuation. And so again, like, that's fucking, I'm not saying you're gonna be the next Steve Jobs or DHH, but like, that's when you're looking at the guys who actually had like long-term sustainability. I could see you, like, I can fast forward 10 years and I could see you with like a really success. The guy who has Bending Spoons, like the firm. Are you familiar with him?
They bought Evernote, but I don't know
Yeah, they bought Evernote. They're a holding company, basically. They're like a VC-PE hybrid. It's unique, but they buy Evernote. They bought fucking AOL, I'm pretty sure. So they buy technology companies that are past their prime and like re-inject new life into them. And there's like, obviously, like in the PE world, there's a lot of strategic decisions there. Like, they have established talent pool and, they have like pretty good churn. By that point, like, the customers that are sticking around, like, aren't going anywhere. But it's like, when you look at the portfolio of all those companies and then what they've done with them, like, they all look like Bending Spoons. It's like the founder is passionate about like great technology companies that couldn't keep up with the VC slot machine of fucking YCOM and all this stuff. And he buys these companies for way too much money and builds them right and puts in top level talent and has a crazy recruiting pipeline and has a crazy talent pool. And like, he sees Evernote like get back into the market, and like, that is fucking awesome for him. And it crushes. And they're one of the fastest growing, technology PE firms from zero. Like, they were technically bootstrapped, and they do debt rounds. They don't even take on capital. They take on debt. Like, they raise from banks. It's crazy. And it's just like, because they just bleed into all of the companies they touch. And so I like whatever you've got is like also, it goes beyond just like this one app. And that's what I was saying. Like, either just keep building the app for another 5 years and do it properly, and then go make your money if you need quick cash or 3-year cash, like, go use it somewhere else. But I think I would, whether it's like Lucky Note is the thing, like, Lucky Note's an extension of yourself, and that is what will bring you the success over the next 5 to 10 years. And like, you can't lose that. And so right now it looks like Lucky Note still awesome. If you get a new idea for this new thing and you're posting about, or people know you for Lucky Note, like, I think I know Urosh on Twitter, and I know him because of Lucky Note. And I don't use Lucky Note myself, but I know that Lucky Note's a damn good software. Like, that kind of correlation, that means that your marketing is able to communicate that Lucky Note is just a damn good software. And that is what the guy who builds Lucky Note cares about, and that's what the people who use Lucky Note care about. I think that is a valid marketing strategy. It's probably not going to, you know, get you on the fucking MRRtrackers.com, but if you want to sell out, dude, I got 5 apps that we could build right now in the fucking women's menopause market, and I bet you'd feel it, you know? And if I wanted to do that, I would have done it, but I would fucking jump off a bridge if I had to attach my name to that shit. So
Yeah, exactly.
I know it's not what you want. I know there's not like a 3-point checklist on how you're going to get money, but
Then don't think about the money. Just say the 3-point checklist that's on your mind. What should I do next?
you should start posting on Twitter and LinkedIn about what you want to post, not what you think people want to see from you. It's not going to be an acquisition channel for Lucky Note. It's going to be an acquisition channel for you as a founder and as a builder and as a artist, and they will sign up for Lucky Note through that. But you know, like we probably not going to track like conversion metrics on that, but I would do that. I'd commit to it. Go watch fucking Gary V if you want to. Go post content a day, but like you're passionate about this. Go tell people about it. Like, you know, you could change up the market. You can change people's minds about software. You could I spent, bro, I built an app like last year, and I built like one of those like Carpathy style LLM wikis just on design principles. So like Bauhaus School of Design and Eastern Design and mid-century modern. And I was like trying to train Claude skills because I was trying to like retrace like this how Steve Jobs was thinking about like calligraphy and about geometry and about shapes and I was trying to like bake that in. I was it was like for a passion project. I was like, I want to make like, can I make UX UI quantitatively better? And it turns out there's all these measurements about keystrokes and milliseconds, and you know, there's like actual that have been around since like the 70s when there was hyper functional 70s, 80s, 90s when there's hyper functional UX. And wouldn't you have it, everything's moving back to a terminal because people want hyper functional UX again. Go figure. But I went down that like rabbit hole deep, and I still think about it a lot. And if I was just scrolling on my timeline and I saw you posting about any of the shit that you've talked to me about, I would follow you immediately, and I would be like watching for your stuff because I'm like, oh my God, like it's not am I like a fringe case because I also have like an autistic hyperfixation for UX? Like maybe, but what a relief in this absolute bullshit slop industry that we're in with like consumer SaaS that somebody like yourself just cares about. Like, again, that's how Steve Jobs worked. He said you wanted to be the most pro-human technology ever, and then he died, and now we're on the fucking iPhone, the 18 Pro Max Slim Mini. So checklist 1 is like just go fucking scream from the mountaintops. Like, go be frustrated. Go tell people about it. There's a lot of people who will relate to you, and you'll attract more people. Step 2, go watch back the stream and just apply everything. Give it to an agent and have it summarize it. You will see lifts. You just do my shit and you will see a lot more conversions. Go do Rob's thing. It takes volume and it takes work, but it doesn't take capital, and it will work. Like, it will work. I definitely like run it through whatever like tool, like agent, whatever LLM shit you use, and have it like quiz you on it. So say like ask me questions until I understand it and spend like 20 minutes with that, and then like don't just have it give you this action step, like, you know, for things that you maybe like didn't quite grasp. That'd be action step number 2. And then action step number 3 is like keep building it how you want to build it. Like, don't again, the having the outlet of something that like in this world where you can't do anything the way you want it to, it is the one thing that you can do. Like, don't try, make sure there's not a number I could put in front of you that would take that away from you, because there might be. That's how VC works. There might be a time where somebody's going to want to put a number in front of you to like take that away from you, and A, that never works, and B, it doesn't matter what you do, at least you'll have something that like you could consider, you know, successful. But I just think that, you know, your metric for success, your metric for greatness, like your metric for good is like an objective metric, and that is valuable, right? Like a lot of stuff we need to kind of manufacture value and create. I mean, I'm a direct response copywriter by trade, so like I could convince you that anything's fucking important, brother. And we're moving to I think if I had to, if let's say for whatever reason I had like 500 grand and I had to give it to you on this call, I don't know why, but let's say I'm just like PE and I invest in like people, I would build you into the anti AI slop guy, and I would. I mean, I'm also like an info guy, so I can't help myself. I just want to launch courses and consulting, but I would spin up like a almost like a creative design studio that helps like vibe coded SaaS make like human UI again. I think that would be fucking sick. I think if you're like 25K, 8-week engagement, you have engineers, and like then there's this whole other thing where like you get to talk to other like front end designers in the space that like also love your thing, and you're like, you got to pay me a fuck ton of money. And before I would go to either recently funded startups or startups that are actively shopping to get funded and be like, before you show this to anybody, we're going to tear it apart, the front end, we're going to build it back up, we're going to install all of these like human eye track, you know, where you can track like the mouse movements and everything, so you can have objective metrics. Like we will objectively raise your retention by this, we'll objectively raise your onboarding by this, because it's all UX and UI, right? So there's monetary incentives that you can get across the sales line, and then just go fix all of these fucking garbage apps. I'd say go fucking do the fuck the. I would actually say fuck the app, but I'd say like go that again. If I think that if you were to build, if you were to try to go and clone or build a competitor to another app in the space, that yours would be better. Doesn't mean fucking people would see it or use it or whatever. I think it'd be better because I just see, because you would care about it. And so you either need to fight that, and like you can either tell yourself the story that in order for you to be successful, you need to fix your perfectionism, and you need to like bite the bullet and take a knee and listen to scammy sales guys like me and just go like run marketing. Or same thing I was telling you about the sales team, right? Double down on your strengths and then build a world around you that allows your strengths to work. And I think that that couldn't come from your own products, but I think you have like an exponential talent's the wrong word. It is like factually correct, but like just your natural proclivity to things, like your hyperfixation on this being effective, people would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for, if you can find a way to quantify it, which you can because it's objectively better, right? Same way people pay me for offers. It's like I like, you are paying me because I will make you more money. But making money is basically just a guaranteed byproduct of me fucking chewing your business up and spitting it back out at you, because I care about truth and objectivism, and I'm going to tell it to your face, and I'm going to cut all this bullshit, and you're going to be left with a business that is a lot fucking simpler than you had before and works a hell of a lot better. And it'll go make more money, but I don't give a fuck about the money. I'll just go do the next one. I know that that business is going to make more money because I'm like, that's one more business that is actually just running properly. And the fulfillment I get from that is more than anybody could pay me. I know it because I shut down deals for a lot of money that I know there's either just too much shit in there that I wouldn't be able to fix it, or the founder's the type of person that if I told him something was objectively wrong and it hurt his ego, I'm not going to be able to get that. I'm like, get that. There's no amount of money they can pay me. So I think that's like, if you want to make the app work, we spent an hour on it and it will work. But any other of like this like tangent that I did not expect to go on is all downstream from a personal brand. And that can mean a lot of different things. It doesn't need to mean shooting TikToks all day. Like, I have a personal brand and it's just from me fucking yelling. Like literally my Twitter strategy is I will disappear for 4 months and then I'll tweet 400 times in a day, and then I'll disappear for 4 months because I'll just go and like work with people for 3 months and I'll have all this pent up aggression, and then I would just go absolutely carpet bomb the timeline, just venting, and then I'll gain like 3,000 followers because it like just strikes people right in the heart. Hormozy does that really well. Like all of Hormozy's content is just him being like, I hate seeing all this over complex, and then people are like, wow, he's so concise and practical, and so I'd say, but don't think about for the app and that distribution. Think about like the strategies that we were outlining for your own shit. Just go like find mediums that if you're a video guy, if you just want to tweet shit, if you like long form, short form, if you like, we're doing this because I hate recording videos, and so I'm going to be able to get like 5 videos a week from this because we're going to clip it up, right? So like building flywheels around your strengths. My strengths is yapping. I don't know if you can tell. I'm not good at scripting a video. I'm good at going on tangents. And so the content medium that I am using is for tangents. So find ways to engineer it around your strengths, but and don't pay attention to followers because it's not real. Just go like, there's a lot of stuff in your brain that a lot of people would relate to, and that is a great edge against AI slop. And that is the same edge that is the reason any software that you touch will be the edge against the market. And I would bet on that there's going the same way that everyone's going back to fucking vinyl music and film cameras, like I don't think people are going to go back to hand coded software. I don't necessarily think that it's like we're going back to before the Gutenberg press or we're going back to horses. I do think if I had to, if I was running this massive PE firm and I had a bunch of software and I wanted to make a strategic I'm seeing the market going this way and I want to buy a hedge against like AI slop while still maintaining like the advantages of like accelerationist, and my engineers get to be more like code reviewers instead of builders, whatever. And I can find a way to like have you oversee all my apps and make sure that the UI that's getting in the hands of my users is like works and is pro-human, and you're training a team to look at things that other people won't look at. Like, I mean, I could do back of the napkin math on how much money that would be a lot fucking more than I would pay you. And what I'd pay you is be a lot of fucking money, So, okay. And scene.
I see your points. I agree with your views. I also see myself as like every time, let's say my girlfriend always huge support to say it live because she's in the other room. But I'm like you in the sense of when I want to say something, I just want to let the thoughts flow. And when someone tells me put a plan, there is a certain amount of where the plan goes and where is it like pressing on my creativity and everything. So also like you, what I do is like when I try to create like I have zero problem. Like literally, look, I brought the spatula because I was like, okay, we're gonna cook today. That's why I wrote, and you figured it out. Rob didn't, but I was like, I'm completely fine on the content. I can put the camera. I can just like talk about stuff. The the thing for the app itself, let's say to speak about the future in that sense of how I see. As you said yourself in the beginning, the focus you have, and most of the people these days have, is getting shorter and shorter. So usually also when the AI, and now like this for me, now the next version of iOS is going to be very, very different than all the other versions we experienced, because this time with this Siri AI, the concept of like your phone is becoming your data bank. So for example, my app that I started building before the AI, before everything, for me, the view of the app was I want one app where I can send all my information and just get it in text. So now imagine this, and then the ChatGPT comes, and bro, like March 2023, I was going to the toilet and pissing every 20 minutes because every time when I would see something, ChatGPT can do this, can do this, can do this, I would be so frustrated because I was like, bro, what the fuck? How is this? Like, it's going too far, too fast, and everything. And I'm having the app that looks like that. ChatGPT is only API. And I'm like, oh, should I just convert this app and make it a GPT wrapper? Because not only like people were like selling those wrappers only phone, I had the fucking system that was working on the phone and on the web. So you had the whole ChatGPT before ChatGPT. And I was like, no. Well, it was not actually no. It was my life was like completely crumbling with the whole experience of bureaucracy, losing one citizenship to gain another, living in like so many different things. And I'm like, okay, even if this blew up, I don't have energy to do this. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on this and survive. Let's say the last 5 years of my life is survive. The last 8 months of my life was figure this out so you can sell this, so you can maintain and sustain yourself. So that's why now I'm like too many things at the same time, and of course things don't work. But the concept is like still there, to to just connect with the thought that I wanted to say with the UI, UX, and everything. Um, the the best apps are not really gonna have the UI. There is gonna be still the amount of UI needed for all of this, but usually people, because the attention span is getting way shorter, the you don't have the patience for anything. Like people don't understand the concept of boredom. Like they're so everything happening that if they're bored, for them is confusing, and what they do is just find some distraction, and usually it's the phone. So when you end up on the phone, it's just the content, so it's not the apps. So for me, this was, I wanted to make an app to have all my information in one place. How I'm gonna extract later and in the future and all that stuff, it's fine. Weirdly, I'm passionate about design and functionality and the UX, but I'm not really passionate about, like, let's say apps and businesses and reworking other stuff and all that. Like, because if you see in the last 3 months, just in the last 3 months, huge companies, Linear, all of those, they literally dropped their whole UIs and they just put a search box. And this is going to be a trend that's going to keep happening. Now with the Siri, hey, what's on my screen? Hey, can you press send on this pizza, whatever? Because people are going to be so tired to scroll. There will be, like, it will be a moment where
I
they're going to
know.
be like, I'm gonna buy this, but I don't want to click a button. Just do the purchase for me, and that's it. So for my app, again, in particular, the MCP, let's say the point is not gonna be the AI. Now the AI also with the Chinese models and everything, there will be a moment where somehow open source becomes mainstream, or these companies manage somehow. Again, ChatGPT, I think, is going to be there for a while because people are now engraved into it somehow. But it's all about the memories that people have. Apple is going to have a huge, like, wedge to call it now. The photos, like, it's insane. You have photos that are sitting on iCloud, and then there's so many apps. Like there's recently another, like, I'm paying attention to all these
Hmm.
like niche apps and everything. There's an app called Pool, and what they do is their sole concept is we work um, for you in the background. So every time when you screenshot something, usually people don't go back to screenshots, and then their point is all your screenshots, we analyze them and then we give you some kind of information based on them, so you don't need to save links.
Mm.
They got funding, they got the app broke first time when I used it, and again, it's fine, they do their work, it's all fine, they fixed it. The app somehow works, it's again fine, but you still need to open, it still need to work somehow. Fast forward, iOS, new feature. Oh, now we have the analyze of all your screenshots that is directly connected with your personal cloud, that is also connected with all your personal images that are safe and everything. Like you have no idea the pain. Like I also have the ability. You save a screenshot in Lucky Note, I extract you nicely information. I tell you what you can get from this, blah blah. If people save pictures, you can also have stuff from there. But like, do people really send pictures to other apps? No, it just sits in iCloud. For notes, like all the time I have the, whenever I have a discussion, it's like, why should I use Apple Notes? Like, valid response. But it's like it depends on what you want from a note-taking app. Usually people don't take note-taking even remotely seriously. For them it's like it's somewhere. And for me, I'm like, I need that back. because for me, somewhere is not the value that I'm seeking. For me, it's like I want to remember this. And again, with the new version of the iPhone, well, not the new, well, actually, it's a new version. They're also going to release a new version. All those things that are sitting on your phone, AI can just like, okay, now you swipe down and you ask for it. And all, let's say, my app is still going to have its own value, but most of the other apps, what? For the average user, what are you going to get? Like, what? How do you compete with a system that already has everything on the device and it's there? So
You
you don't need
don't.
you don't move a muscle. So yeah, you don't. And then when you tell me you go down, and I was thinking about the same, but I was like, okay, and what should I do? I go now and go inside the company. They pay me however much money. I do similar thing like you. I chew them up and I said, this is crap. You need to go from scratch. You need to go, I don't know, MCP first. You need to do this. You need to do that. And then they're like all the crying and everything, blah, blah. And in the end, they're going to come to me and it's like, well, this thing is connected with that. And people are actually lazy to even use anything from our product. And I'm like, yeah. So, so there's like this, we're going to enter some kind of weird period, and I don't know how companies are gonna, let's say, manage this. Not to go like, again, this is artificial future.
No,
We
I
don't
know.
know. This is only speculation. But the point is like the UI friendly interface for me is not really gonna be there. Like there will be a very simple interface, but when you tell to someone about the calligraphy, bro, like first of all, half of people have no idea what calligraphy even means. And and then you're like, well, but this is, shaped almost like, for example, what iOS has the concept of squircle. It's like, explain squircle to a normal person. You don't. It's like, it's a button. No, no, it's not a button, it's a shape. And then you're like, yeah, people don't care about this. And that's why that rabbit thing, the AI was working, because people like, finally I can order my Uber. Yes, you can order your Uber, but then you're gonna get very questionable whatever. And there will be a very slim concept of, like, literally, as you told me, for example, for the agent, summarize this interview, let the agent ask you questions, and literally you're gonna need the UI for that agent to ask you questions that are gonna be less than seven, let's say, because more than seven people are overwhelmed. That's why usually he gives you three, four, or five options. So then you're like sitting there and you're like, what is the UI? And then there's like this generative UI that now they're building blocks. So it's again like these kind of things that I'm like, okay, I am passionate about design. I'm not passionate to the level that I go to the companies and then spill their, I don't know what kind of knowledge. And even for the UI knowledge, things change, bro. Like I was working with people, guy was obsessing with colors. Like he was obsessing with colors. Is this the proper shade of green we're gonna use? And then we had a meeting of 1 hour talking about green, and I'm like, how do I survive this? Where do I get from here? Do I really want to be a product designer? Because this is a part
Yeah.
of the product design. But not to like over go here. The current situation that I have is like this app works. I would love if there was a, like, now definitely I'm gonna take all the lessons you gave me, the support, the tips, all of those. I appreciate all of those. The point is, as you said, it's a niche app. There is ways to move it to the next level. I see your point with founder-led content. I try to do this now on TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. I will try. Somehow LinkedIn in my brain is like, I am overwhelmed by the support of this company, something, something. That's why I'm creating this post. And somehow I feel a little bit cringy to
No, I
showcase
fucking
my,
hate LinkedIn, but
a friend of my girlfriend, she's having huge amount of clients literally by the frustration of this, and she's a PhD student. She gets all the PhDs to hate on all the like official things, and she's like getting clients to get the PhD done and talk shit about all of this. Awesome work. Like I applaud her,
fantastic.
but it's like I'm not a PhD. Like the I have bachelors and I have the certain amount of bullshit that I want to throw in the world, but
Uh-huh.
it's not the that kind of level. To stop again the scene because it's now we went too far. I will take your three steps. I will take the raw points. Um, yeah, I really appreciate for me the knowledge. Again, at one point I would. Um, it would be very cool to work with you just to understand how your brain works.
Oh, good
Like, I
luck.
would, bro, I lived 8 years in Germany. Luck is like that's I throw that away.
That's
So
ironic.
I have much more than luck to manage these kind of things, but spectacular way of thinking, spectacular way of positioning yourself in this world, managing your strengths and like the skills. Awesome. Like for
Thank you.
me, I was reading books and bro, you're like applying so many things from this self-motivation, self-coaching, managing.
No, that's great to hear. I've never read any of those books. I can't
Yeah,
read.
but this is the point. Like you were like, okay, no, this is I'm just gonna take things that work for me. Boom,
Yeah.
done. You
Well,
don't
listen,
need
bro,
to like
I think we're very similar in a lot of ways. That's why I went on this passionate side tangent. I think that, like what you're talking about with like software and kind of like biting the bullet and just letting the big guys, kind of swallow the market, like it's very similar in my industry. Maybe not to the same degree, but then every industry is just basically going to fucking AI anyways. I spent a lot of years like kind of tussling with where you're at right now, and I tried like a bunch of different ways out. And the number one thing I always say to fucking I told it to you, I tell it to everybody. I'm like, you gotta make your bed and lay in it. Like that's it. There's because being caught in like the mid like it's not. You're either gonna fucking build something that integrates with Apple and Apple's gonna steal everybody and you have a little cheeky exit, or you die fighting with the sword for the next 30 years and you build something great and maybe people know about it, maybe people don't, but you die feeling like, you don't like the way that things are moving and you feel good. And either way, it's like, you need time in it. I am personally of the belief that like just building pro human things is it's an unbeatable hedge. And so like I would put my money behind uh an organization or a mission or a piece of or anything that is going to die fighting to keep the interaction human. And I would say that that wins on a long enough time horizon than however many trillions of dollars Apple can throw behind shit. Like fucking Rome fell, and IBM was the biggest thing. Bro, if IBM like adjusted for current valuation would be like they would be like the GDP of fucking Germany. Like it'd be crazy. And they were gone like that. And they set the standard for organization. They literally made Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley used to only manufacture like hardware parts for other. That's why it's called Silicon Valley. Like
yeah.
software engineers used to build things with their hands, crazy, and design things with pen and paper and engineer and not just write software. And that was gone in the fucking blip. And so like, yeah, maybe the world is going CLI native and everyone's just going to be in Wally world. Like that's awesome. But if so, we're all fucked anyways, and so we may as well build some damn good software. So I'm not kissing the ring. I'm building. I see a lot of things wrong in various industries I'm in, and I've been building towards fixing them for years, and I'm nowhere near anywhere close to them working. And that affects my motivation about 0% because I think
Mm.
everyone's wrong on some things, and I'm gonna keep building shit and I'll tell people they're wrong until what it's like is like you ever see pictures of like downtown Miami and there's like skyscrapers and then there's the one little fucking house where that old couple just the developer could not shove any like $80 million and they're like nope. We like our little garden and our poodle fucking likes the backyard. And it's like those guys are happier than anybody who lives in those condo buildings and the people who fucking built it. So if you're not the type of guy who a bunch of monetary success is going to bring you the happiness, then fuck it. That doesn't mean you can't make money. We live in a capitalistic society, fortunately. So values exchanged and they print more money. And so there's a lot more dollar bills than there are value. So you win that exchange, go us. So, you can raise a family and buy a house, which is awesome if you play the fucking game. But I don't know, man. I don't think I could trade you any amount of money for the passion that you have towards the stuff you're talking about. Wherever that gets applied, whether it's this, whether it's something else, I just, keep fighting for that. Fortunately, doing the stuff I do is like not difficult. I make it way harder for myself because similar to you in product, I need things to be perfect my way. I said I was going to launch my own offer 3 weeks ago, and I have rewritten the sales letter every day for 3 weeks because I always find little things that I don't like about it. And I could have just launched it 3 weeks ago, would have been fine. So, it's the pot calling the kettle black. But I would say just, be happy with if you're going to decide to like build this thing the way that you decide it's going to be built, and that if you won't, compromise on what you think is great, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for you to, if that is like like there's two scale, or there's like an X and Y axis, and this is like what the world will reward right now, and then this is like what the world will reward like later, and this run is like a 10 here and a 0 here. You can find ones that are 6 and 4s or 7 and 3s or 2 and 8s, and they'll feel like shit, but like that's the game. That's what we do. I have mine that are 10s and 0s, and then sometimes a 6 and a 4 will come along, and it'll be like, yeah, pay the bills a couple months, and I'll do that, and then I'll throw capital into the thing that's basically just a black hole for time and money because it's not going anywhere. And I have way more fun doing that shit than that shit. But sometimes I got to get on the train for a bit to get back off. So, but to people from the outside, that would seem like hell, where they're like, dude, just pick one thing and just find that compromise. And I find my joy. I can if I need one thing that's a 10 that I think is right, no matter what anybody thinks about it. If I don't have that to work on, I'll go crazy. So if that's this, then that doesn't mean you can't make it work with some of the more conventional ways. But if this thing works long term, it'll be because you wanted it to and you didn't give up on it working. You're this fucking far in, brother. So But I think yeah, we'll keep in touch. You're somebody I want in my corner to run things by anyways, because I like the way you think. And I think I always am looking for, my brain just works in like arbitrage opportunities. I like finding people who I think are like misplaced and can kind of point them into directions where I can unlock like monetary gains from them because I'm a greasy businessman. So I think there's whether it's you making the decision. I was just spitballing on some of like the like hedge fund shit, but I think there are verticals where your same level of passion would just be met more high on the y-axis. And my overarching advice, software or not, would be like just poke around there, because you'll find things. You'll find things where you have to compromise a lot less than you think. Because if there's people like me out there, like I'm 24 and I'm just like still kind of getting going. If I was 48 and a billionaire and you came across me, I'd give you whatever angel check you wanted. I'm not, but if there's guys like me in this stage, there's guys like me further along, and there's guys like me less along that would buy your shit. So, there's always going to be people seeking truth, and if you keep shining a beacon in the sky, they'll find it. So I'd say just keep doing that and run some fucking ads, throw some money into this fucking roulette wheel and see what happens.
It is a roulette. Hopefully not a Russian one, but
I know. Well, you Slavs, you like taking everything up to a 9, so fuck me.
There you go.
Awesome. This was great, brother. I appreciate your time. This was so great. Thanks for jumping on. I shot you a DM on Twitter. Are you on WhatsApp or Telegram?
Both.
Okay. Well, I use Telegram more, so I'll shoot you my Telegram. Keep in touch. If you have any more questions, let me know. Rob is Canadian too, so if you have any questions on the SEO side of things, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to help. But yeah, keep in touch. This was awesome, brother. Thank you. Thank you for the content. This was very helpful.
Thank you. The same. Thank you.
Awesome, brother.
Appreciate it.
All right, keep in touch. God bless, brother.